So Motorola just released two more phones, the Moto E and the Moto G Fast. So in today's video, we're gonna see what you get for 150 bucks with the new Moto E. Now this is an unlocked device and it's got 32 gigabytes of storage. It's currently listed at $149.99, but I'll leave a link in the description with current pricing and more information. It's got dual cameras on the back. You'll get up to 2 days battery life with a 3,550 milliamp hour battery. This has a 6.2 inch max vision HD plus display, 1520 by 720 resolution at a 19:9 aspect ratio. It comes with a Snapdragon 632 octa-core processor, fingerprint scanner on the back where the Motorola logo is. It is water repellent, so you don't have to worry about spills or splashes. It's got Google Lens, Moto Experiences. You can also add a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. It's got a plastic body and weighs in at 185 grams. It only comes in one color, which is midnight blue. The rear-facing cameras are 13 megapixel and 2 megapixel for depth, and the front camera is a 5 megapixel. It's also got Bluetooth 4.2, which by now you would think it'd be Bluetooth 5.0, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, you don't get NFC on this one. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got. Okay, it's definitely got a little weight to it. SIM card and micro SD card, ejection tool, quick start guide, and safety information. Unfortunately, this still has micro USB charging and your 5-watt USB charging brick, so I don't think you're gonna get fast charging with this one. It's definitely a little bit different color than some of the other Motorola phones. There in the corner, you got your dual cameras and flash, and then your fingerprint scanner right where the logo is. SIM and micro SD card tray there on the left hand side. On the right hand side is your power and volume buttons. I kind of like this matte finish around the edges. There at the top is your headphone jack and microphone. And then along the bottom is your speaker, micro USB charging port, and microphone. And it's got a teardrop style camera there on the front. It's got a rather large bezel here along the bottom, but overall I gotta say it looks pretty decent for only 150 bucks. Here's a quick size comparison against the Moto G stylus. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but the Moto G stylus is definitely a little bit brighter. But as far as the body goes, they're basically the same height. There's a little less bezel on the Moto G stylus, but other than that, they're pretty much the same size. One thing that Motorola is really good at, in my opinion, is their software. They usually keep things nice in stock with a few customizations. When you swipe over from the home screen, you're gonna get your Google News feed, which I actually think is a really good way to do it. Obviously, the downside to a cheaper device like this is storage. I'm already using about half of the 32 gigabytes available. This is on Android 10, April 1, 2020 security patch. Now when you first open this, it comes with gestures, but luckily they let you switch that back to buttons, which I kind of prefer. I think it's a little bit faster than gestures. But like I said, Motorola likes to keep it really close to stock Android, and I can tell already, the software on this is nice and smooth. Now it looks like you can change quite a bit in the themes or styles. You can choose fonts. Pretty standard stuff here in the notification shade. You're gonna get mobile data, airplane mode, night light, battery saver, auto rotate, do not disturb, flashlight, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. You're also gonna get system update, screencast, and feedback. On the screen lock, you're gonna get none, swipe, pattern, pin, or password. So it doesn't look like you're gonna get face unlock with this device. There are a few gestures to choose from. You've got swipe fingerprint for notifications, double press power key to launch the camera, or you can launch the assistant. Your navigation gestures. You can also prevent ringing. There's also a 3-finger screenshot, and there's also fast flashlight with 2 chopping motions. Resolution on apps like YouTube is going to be 720p, so it's only got one speaker there on the bottom, but I've got to say, for only being one speaker, it's definitely pretty loud. with plenty of brightness and contrast. I don't know if this would be bright enough for outdoor use, but pretty good for indoor use. I also tested out some games on my Pandora's box, which played really nice as well. One issue I couldn't quite figure out is the sound didn't seem to be coming out of the monitor. After running a Geekbench test on this, it's actually about twice as powerful as the Galaxy A11, which is roughly about the same price as this, but still quite a bit less powerful than something like the Galaxy A50 or A51. So when it comes to gaming, I was actually surprised at how good this phone handles games like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and Asphalt 9. They all three play nice and smooth without any issues and hardly any lag or choppiness that sometimes you see with cheaper devices. Now, if you're wondering, this device is not compatible with Fortnite, but the games I played during my testing played very good, and I'm glad to see you still get a good experience with gaming even though you're using a cheaper device. Here's some more game footage just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Graphics settings on PUBG Mobile is the lowest at smooth with medium frame rates. When it comes to the camera app, this is a really simple design. You just got your camera in the middle, video to the right, and then you've got portrait, cutout, spot color, panorama, and live filter. And then for video modes, you've got slow motion and time lapse. Up here at the top, you've got auto HDR, flash, timer. You can choose between auto and manual. And then in the settings, you've got 4:3 or 16:9 or 19:9 aspect ratio. And then you got 8 megapixel and 13 megapixel. For video, you've got Full HD or Full HD at 19:9 aspect ratio, and then you've got HD. You've also got a selfie, photo mirror, tap anywhere to capture, shutter sound, assistive grid, leveler, watermark, auto smile capture, which could come in handy. You've also got Google Lens, and save location. It actually has pretty decent shutter speed. And it's got plenty of detail, so definitely a pretty decent camera for this price range. Here's a few samples of photos and video, just to give you an idea of what to expect from the Moto E. So one thing I noticed with this phone is it does take a little bit longer after the photo is taken to process the image, whether it's using HDR or trying to blur the background in portrait mode. But to me, the results are definitely worth the wait. It sort of reminds me of my wife's Pixel 3a XL, where you just expect it to take longer to process, but the end result is usually pretty good. Now, let me be clear, this phone is no Pixel, but it is better than I expected, considering the price. Video on the front and back also seem pretty decent, so if you have a Zoom meeting coming up and you're debating using your old laptop camera versus something like this, I would choose this. One weird thing that did happen when charging this phone, I plugged it in and came back half an hour later and realized it wasn't charging, which was weird because everything was plugged in correctly. Once it did start charging, the bad thing is it took about 3 hours to get fully charged from 0 to 100%, which seems pretty slow for a smartphone nowadays. So hopefully this video gave you a better look at the new Moto E 2020 version that was just released. I think this is definitely going to be one of the best selling cheap phones of the year at under 150 bucks, and it should be because it's actually a pretty good value for what you're paying. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.